Okay, still a delay between messages. How? Normal.
Normal. Could say
Close.
close. Now.
All right. It is a scorcher today. And so my title today is, ooh, this was a Republican voter, a person been, that had voted all his life as a Republican. I like to go to different channels and kind of see where everybody is with in our divided nation. So I went to this particular site, and the site was RVAT, Republicans Voters Against Trump. And this, like I said, this particular Trump supporter said that um, he had never voted uh, but one way. And what he said, I did put it in the descriptions. He stated that this was no longer the party that he belonged to, that the party that he belonged to would uphold the Constitution, would uphold the rule of law, would accept accountability, would have more ethical behavior, supported a strong military, and for those who served. He said that he felt at this time that a lot of people were frustrated and just basically going along with whatever the predecessor said, because the bottom line was that he was telling them what they want to hear. He said in the end, and this young man name is Jeff, and like I said, you can find him at RVAT, Republican Voters Against Trump. He stated that Trump would burn down democracy and rule over the ashes. So um, I thought that was pretty strong. And I'm kind of glad that I'm visiting channels and getting other people's voices and hearing what they have to say. So um, if anybody like to chime in, chime in. If not, I will continue ahead. So I basically had looked for a lot of channels, and in those channels, in looking for those channels, what I did was I wanted to send channels out because I noticed that a lot of times we're not kind of sharing on YouTube the different channels that's given out um, the best information, not the information or disinformation or lies. So these are a few channels that I have wrote down for my friends, families, um, associates to go to and look at these channels and um, see exactly what they were expressing. So here's a few of the channels that I've written down. The Defiant Lawyers by Augusta Corbett, Strictly Scrutiny, Adam Mocker, Luke Beasley, Bulwark with Tim Miller, Hysteria, Shrinking Trump, David Packman, Midas Touch, Glenn Kirshner, Brian Taylor Cohen, um, Mia Copa, Michael Cohen's podcast, Legal AF, Kimmel, and Steve Corbett. I had looked at that one before I came on. There was one with the U.S. newscaster. And while I was watching, I think it was um, Mia Copa with Michael Cohen. And on that particular podcast, they had a young lady that she used to be a Republican, and she had switched over, and now they had a project, and that project was the Seneca Project. It was for USA women healthcare, choices, women's right, and uh, and she was expressing that it was just more about abortions, and they wanted to uh, make it to the I think it was mainstream women. So her name was Tara, and if you want to go and look at that particular podcast, her name that was the Seneca Project USA. And so I wanted to share these different podcasts because I'm a person that uh, like a lot of information. I want to hear the views of many people. I want to uh, see how people feel in this moment in time about our divided nation. And we are strongly divided. If they feel like that the predecessor is an existential threat, and if they vote for him, uh, will it? Are they voting for him, or are they voting for the Constitution? And the bottom line is uh, that it cannot be both ways. It cannot be both ways. And I know that a lot of people may disagree with Joe Biden. I don't really know anybody in this life that I have totally agreed with. And the bottom line is, if it is, something's wrong with that situation. You're going to disagree with people, but you have to choose somebody that still has your best interest and the country's best interest at heart. So I wanted to put those different channels out there. Um, and once again, I will repeat these channels. They were The Defiant Lawyer, uh, and he talked about autocracy and fascism. And I really enjoyed looking at his podcast. Adam Mocker, Strict Scrutiny, Lou Beasley, Bulwark, Shrinking Trump, David Packman, Midas Touch, Glenn Kirshner, Brian Taylor Combs, Mia Copa, Legal AF, um, the U.S. newscaster Seneca Project with Tara, who also used to be a Republican. So when I decided to do this live podcast, well, live stream today, uh, basically, um, a lot of times people don't know where to go for information. And YouTube has a lot of channels that's out there that have good information. And sometimes we have a tendency to click on a channel and see that they may not have that many subscribers or that many views. And the bottom line on the subscribers and views is that doesn't mean that they don't have good information. That doesn't mean that they're not putting out factual information and the truth. Um, so I just hope that this may help people find their way to the truth, go to these podcasts, because it's too many channels that's not getting credit, and they work hard on their channels. And like I said, I'm a learner. I like I like a lot of information. I like the truth. You know, I want to hear your voices. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm in the Biden bunch of being old. But other countries respect their elders. And that's something that I want to press today because regardless of uh, Biden's age, he did not get the age that he is today and not have all the information or all the empathy and the compassion that he has given this country. Like I said, there's nobody that I totally agree with. But sometimes we have to put what we feel aside and we have to protect, you know, the country. I, if it's something that's an existential threat, it shouldn't be in place. We shouldn't have, and and I'm really surprised even at this point in time that a person is walking around free and not locked up. I don't know why a lot of the black males are identifying with that because that's not true. Once they get convicted of a crime or do anything, they're on their way to jail. And that's just it. I don't know. And that's news to me. That's basically news to me. But like I said, once again, we're going to have to put our differences aside, work together as a united nation. This is not the divided nation of it. Well, right now it seems to be, but it should be the United Nations, United States. We need to unite. We need to, even if they say agree to disagree, but one thing we need to basically vote the best interests of the country, vote the interests of the people, vote the interests where we can all be in one piece and stay alive. And so I hope that these podcasts can help the people that's just came to the live stream late. I appreciate Latrice Lavelle and Erin Templin and for coming. And I hope that I get more people back on a review because a lot of people don't know uh, where to go, what information to get. The information that we need to get at this time, in this moment in time, we need to get the truth. We need to get to, as number 44 would say, it is not reading between the line. It is not the devil in the details, but it is the bottom line. And we need to get to the bottom line. So anything or anyone that threatens your freedom, your democracy, your life, then it's a no vote. It's a no go. And I know I do this all the time. Well, this is I have a tendency to bring up cancer, and the reason why I bring it up. Shout out to Gail at night. Thank you, Gail, for coming. And I didn't know the train was gonna come, but hey, that's one of those things, and it will pass. That too will pass. But when I bring up cancer, and the reason why I bring it up, it is not me making it about me. That's keeping it as real can get. Because a lot of times what happens is that what's we're not in the real world. We got people out there saying things that needs a reality check. Thank you, my gal. And and the bottom line is that keeps it real for me. That keeps it real when I get back to that doctor's office or whatever's on that chart, whatever he flips over. This is no time for me to be narcissistic. This is saying that this is existential, and I'll say it again, it can take me out. I will repeat this. We need to be looking at the things that will take us out. We need to stay in reality. We can't just make up things. And I like what this Jeff said. Jeff said that this is not the GOP that he is accustomed to. Now time changed. And even if time has changed, well, we still can treat each other decent. We still got to know how to talk to each other. We can't be a Marjorie Taylor Greene. We can't be somebody like Ted Cruz being talked to bad and then turn around and vote for somebody that totally disrespect you in every kind of way. But we need to be in reality. And the reality is that we're dealing with somebody that, sure, over my lifetime, I may have heard 30,000 plus lies, but I've never heard 30,000 plus lies in a year. Now that's a bit much. That is a lot. And so, again, I put those channels out there because we have a lot of channels. And Gail at Night is one of those channels that I wish you go to her channel and see the reality and the things that she's living in her life, dealing with people, um, and bringing information, and and we're all learning from that information. We're learning from the Intentional Millionaire. He has a channel, and I want people to go to Before the Billions, acknowledge these channels because a lot of channels are being overlooked. These channels can give us information on the predecessor, on the economy, how things is run. This information is not fake information, but true information. And we're not going into our community and putting that information out there enough. I cannot stress enough that if if a Republican says that they're no longer voting for Trump, then I want you to go and look at this channel. And once again, the channel was Republicans Voters Against Trump, which is RVAT. The guy name was Jeff, and he put it out there. He said, I'm not doing this. Um, I'm not going to vote for this person. This is not the party. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're on YouTube, you're finding these channels, you're finding these people. Don't click on and off and cause a disruption. When you click on and look and value their information because they work hard. They work hard to get that information out there. Um, and this is about the truth. It's kind of hard. Even me sitting here today saying Democrat, Republican, no, it's about your life. It's about what happens to us after um, if the predecessor, if he does get reelected. And like I said, I'm totally taken back for the simple fact that black men don't walk around, or any of us walk around, once we're convicted. We're not walking around. We're not. And so if it's showing a lag where, uh, just like the guy Jeff that turned away from the Republicans, well, then if the black men feel that we're facing a crunch and we we are pulling away and going into the direction of the predecessor, then they need to rethink that because if they get jailed today or tomorrow, they are not going to be walking around like him. You know, the things that's whatever's being said, the bottom line is they're not going to get the chances that he's been given. They're not going to have the life that he has, you know. And so I'm just hoping that when people come back and review this live, I'm hoping that they go and that's another thing. People don't look at the description. And a lot of times they don't read. But the description is important also. So I put those descriptions of the channels that we need to be watching. I've called out people's names that we need to be watching. We need to give credit where credit is due. Those channels that I've went to, those channels are putting out the truth. I'm absolutely the truth. And stop looking at the big numbers and get over there to the people that's really working hard because you have to give credit where credit is due. And once again, I like to give credit to the lovely Gail at night. Uh, I want to thank Latrice Lavelle for coming. Uh, she's Palestinian, Eric Templin, and I hope that they go back and tell people uh, if you're going to reevaluate your decision to vote or switch out, think about not only your life, think about your children's lives, think about your grandkids' lives, because this is going to affect a lot of people's lives. This is about more than just Democrat, Republican. This is about our democracy and all the rights that we're losing right now. And voting for a person that is not into reality, that is in a fantasy. I have to live in the real world. My chart is in the real world. The people that I love is in the real world. And when those decisions are made in my life, it is based on real decisions and not based on lies. And it's not always about me. I have to reach across the aisle like Biden has to reach across the aisle. And like I said, sure, I don't know nobody on the planet that everybody agrees with. And a lot of the black males goes back into that era of when they had what, Woo? era when they had that law that
The crime bill in
the crime.
1994.
Well, this is not the 1994, and this is 2024, and a lot of steps and has been made since that bill, and we need to move forward. We cannot compromise the lives of people just because of the crime bill. Did you hear the year 1994? Everything that 2024 is fighting for, I've already fought for it. And I'm back here again. And that's something that I don't like repeat performances. Basically telling you that this G here is saying to you guys that we've not moved forward and we're not making improvement if we're going to constantly hold grudges, if we're going to constantly say, oh, this person is old. Old in other countries are respected. Old in this country is not respected. But I get that too because, like I said, in order to command respect, you have to be respectful to other people. You cannot demand respect and demean people. You cannot demand respect and lie to people. And I just hope that we can pull our nation together. If there's going to be some switches, uh, and to the black men, the black men in the community, if you feel like you want to switch over there to Trump, think about where you at. Because like I said, if something happened to you right now, you will not be walking around. You will not be out. You will not. You will not. They made a law once. That law was what? Affluenza?
Affluenza.
Affluenza, and that law was strictly for the affluent. That means that if they did something, they had a card, a get out of jail free card. We don't have that
And the
card.
original for affluenza was shopping habits. It was never meant to be used for
It was never meant to be used to get out of jail free. That's basically what he's saying. And so tonight, I want to thank everybody for coming. I appreciate you being here. And uh, I appreciate the support because what I want to say to each and every person looking at this live stream, that our young is not living as long as me. And I want people to live beyond me. I want the young people to live beyond me. I want them to be able to realize that when they make that vote, and they can switch because the bottom line is when you go in that booth, if you decide to change, that's a privacy. That's you don't have to feel like I say guilty about switching. You can vote your conscience, vote for your life, vote for your kids' life. And remember when you're voting for judges also. That has been stressed in the media constantly. You're voting for other judges. And God knows the judges that we have now look pretty corrupt. Not all of the judges. And the last vote that came in about the gun laws, who voted against it? Who they finally held 8-1? Clarence Thomas, who has been a total sellout, to our nation. $400 million worth of sellout.
cool train's coming.
And in order to get the things in life that we want, then vote and remember that you're voting judges in for the next
50 years.
50 years. Look at how the judges are doing now. Everything will be stripped away. Everything, if we keep people like Clarence Thomas and Alito up there flying things upside down. So think about that. Think about when you go to vote, whose lives does this affect? Are you voting for your country? Or are you voting for one person? And if you did vote for one person, to let that person be God. Because for one thing, we all need help. We need help. And first of all, a narcissist doesn't believe in God. He believes in himself, who he thinks he is God. So, on that note, think about what I said. Think about those judges that you're going to put in for the next 50 years. Don't sit back on your couch playing whatever video game. Get out and vote. Vote for your life. Vote for reality. You are in reality. This is not a fantasy. This is your life. This is today, this moment in time, right now. And just like Jeff had switched, I want you all to go to that channel and look at why even the Republicans have switched. Once again, that channel is RVAT, Republicans vote against Trump. Watch it. And and think if they're leaving, then think about what your decision's gonna be. And then on that note, before another train come through here, because I really didn't expect that, I'm out. And Gail, once again, thank you for coming and keep putting out that information that you're giving. I'm study learning from you. I wished I had a lot of your skills, but it's never too late. But the bottom line is we love you, you take care, and we're out of here. Good night.